These markets are definitely celebrating.
CNBC Meets Defining Values, brought to you by UOB Private Bank.
She's one of the world's most famous faces, an actress who's broken boundaries to become a Hollywood action star. I've come to China to find out what drives Li Bingbing in her life, career and philanthropy on CNBC Meets Defining Values. Li Bingbing is one of China's most famous actresses. Her work in television and film have earned her numerous awards and millions of fans around the world. But it was her first English-language film, Snowflower and the Secret Fan, that propelled her onto the global stage. Determined to succeed, Li Bingbing taught herself English and went on to become a true Hollywood action hero, starring in blockbuster franchises such as Resident Evil Retribution and Transformers 4 Age of Extinction, and even taking on the world's biggest shark. This worldwide recognition has given her the platform to make a difference and pursue her passion for the environment.
I deeply care about climate change.
I went to catch up with Bingbing in a hotel in downtown Beijing. Bingbing, it's lovely to meet you. Of course, we're here in Beijing, where you're a very famous actress and also the Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Environment Programme. And you've become very successful in Hollywood. You've done a lot of blockbusters there, and there's one called The Meg. Did you enjoy that?
Yes, it's such a great experience for me. We shot this movie in New Zealand, in Auckland, the whole movie, but half of the movie I think we shot in the water, which I really scared, because I am a person who really scared cold, but we have to be in the water always. It's a big challenge for me.
And do you enjoy being in a big Hollywood film?
Yes, I'm happy, and I feel so curious, you know, about Hollywood people, the way how they shoot. And, you know, for me as a Chinese actor, not was born there, so English is a second language for me. It's actually hard for you to act in a second language, and it's also harder for you to, you know, perform another culture. You know, there's so many different cultures between us. For example, you guys, if you guys say, please come here, is that your body language like this?
Yes.
Or come here like this? But our body language seems like, please come here. And we talk to the little kids, we will say, come here, like this. So you have to behave and pay attention when you speak in English. The body language, the way of the expression is completely different.
But it all started for you in a small town where you grew up, and I want to ask you about your childhood.
I am really thankful for my parents. They gave me values when I was very little. I think they're very, very poor when I was born. We don't have, you know, that much money, but we're happy. We love each other. They really love us very much, so I can learn something from them.
What do you think were some of the most important values that your parents taught you?
You know what? I still remember clearly the first time I left my home. My dad was so funny. He said, I don't have money to buy a gift for you, which you like. And he said, I only have 6 words for you. It is 自尊、自重、自爱、自强、自立、自信. I said in Chinese. In English, it would be self-esteem, self-respect, love yourself, be strong, be independent, be confident. And it's so important, you know, until right now, it still directed me a lot. And that's because that's the first time I left my home, and my mom just told me, she's so cute, she said, the early bird gets the worm. So you have to study hard and work hard. That's my parents. They look like. That's their style.
And when you went to school to study in Shanghai, you were going to be a teacher
Yes.
and not an actress.
Yes, you know, I was born in a small city which in northeast of China doesn't even have a university. So in our hometown, there's not a lot of university students. After I graduated from a training school, I am already a music teacher in elementary school, earning 260 RMB each month. So it's pretty good for my family. So like I always said, destiny is destiny. I think I met a person who's really important in my life. He's just saw my performance and in a ceremony, and he just come and suggest me to go test to Shanghai Theater Academy. I never heard about this kind of school. I never know there's such a thing as a performing school. When I got the letter of the acceptance from the school, we're happy, we're screaming, we're just so excited. After we saw the price of the school, it need 4,000 RMB a year. Our whole family went silent. Because my father only earned 300 a month, and I earned 260, like I said. So we're very struggling, go or not go. And I told my mom, if I go, I might make a lot of money. She's really serious and look at me. Really? I said, maybe. I think so. I remembered my father was just in the kitchen scrubbing the pot and the bowls. I think maybe he overheard me and my mom's talking, like two, dummies talking about. He just threw the pot and the brush. He said, damn it, others' kids can't even get into the college when my one does. I will sell all of the things that I have to make sure my kids can go to school. They gave me 5,000 RMB, and my father told me, that's the only money we have. If your sister go to school next year, go to the college next year, we have no money for her. I just look at my dad. I didn't see anything. But, life always gives you something like surprise. Within the first month I got into school, I got a chance to shoot a commercial, which is Shanghai subway. Wow. I earned 800 RMB a day. After that, I never asked any money from my home, my family. And the next year, my sister, yes, did get the college, and I paid her away.
Bing, that's amazing. I mean, it's amazing what
it seems like a story, huh?
Yes.
It's really like a story. So I really, appreciate and thankful what they gave me and what they have done for me. I also so thankful for my school, because my school, it's like they gave me a second life.
Coming up, Li Bingbing tells me how she broke into Hollywood.
It's so difficult, because at the beginning my English is really not that well, and it's hard for me to really understand.
As fuels evolve, engines are revolutionized for efficiency as they rule the roads.
We use the ECM to control the combustion process.
Plow the sea.
It becomes a mechanical sail, which is reducing the fuel consumption and all related emissions.
And conquer the sky.
So to make a modern jet engine as efficient as it can be, we have to push the internal conditions in the engine pretty hard.
Sustainable Energy premieres July 5 on CNBC.
I think that it's better to find a solution in other third countries, such as European countries, Albania or Kosovo, or third countries that are not part of the Europe. What we would like to see is to have legal ways to reach Europe, because the first incoherence that we have now is that we want to fight against illegal migration, but we don't have a legal alternative.
There's one show that every CEO and every decision maker knows is the most powerful business show in the country. The First Morning Analysis. Breaking news, politics, and global markets. It's the ultimate pre-market news show. Now in a new Times Square studio in the heart of New York City. Access, power, influence. Squawk Box. Weekdays on CNBC.
In the age of digital disruption, get fresh business perspectives on the fast-changing world of tech, innovation and startups from one place. CNBC.com/technology.
Welcome back to CNBC Meets Defining Values. I've come to Beijing to meet one of China's most famous actresses and environmental activists, Li Bingbing. She was already an award-winning star in China when her determination to learn English led her to a number of film roles in Hollywood. Bingbing, you were becoming so successful and winning all these awards, and then you starred in a film with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, The Forbidden Kingdom, and you were starting then to learn English.
You know what? I never thought I, would work with Hollywood. You know, like I said, I never imagined I would be an actress. But English, it's a long story for me. I love English. I like English. I like to talk to people. And I never, feel embarrassed when I talk to a foreigner, because I think it's right if you don't know English. So I dare to speak, and I love to speak. Maybe that's the short way for me to learn English. But that's always thinking. I told myself, if you're always thinking, you would never achieve your goal. You have to take some action. So after that movie, it's actually the peak of my career. And I just stopped everything. And I just went to an English school, studied there for a year and a half.
But it's amazing, Bingbing, that you took that risk, because as you've said, you're very successful, doing very well. Where do you think this belief in yourself and what you can do has come from?
You know what? I think my parents really influenced me a lot. The thing they taught me, the values they gave me, like we said, the money is not the measure of a man. So if I keep working, I bet I can make more money and maybe more famous. But sometimes I think I lost myself. I want to learn something that I want to learn. I want to be somebody that I want to be. If I only can think and worried, never take action, you will never change yourself. Is there any sentence in English means when you put down something, you're going to gain something?
One door shuts and the other door opens.
So that's why I decided to stop for a while.
And then you starred in Snowflower and The Secret Fan.
Yes, and then I got a chance to shoot Snowflower and Secret Fan and Resident Evil, Nest, Transformer, and Meg, and I learned things. I learned something that I never learned before. So that makes me so excited.
What was it like, though, Bingbing suddenly working in Hollywood and many, many more people knowing you, and you became an action hero?
It's so difficult, because at the beginning my English is really not that well, and it's hard for me to really understand. But that's also the challenge that make you feel so excited that you want to make it good. You want to make it.
But you also told Michael Bay in Transformers, because he didn't have a role for you, and you said, no, you must make this person a woman, and it's going to be me.
Oh, Michael Bay, he's such an amazing director. But at the beginning, when I first time read the script, I was not very satisfied with the role, and I just directly asked him, it's not the promise you gave me, it's completely different. He said, just give me some time. I'm still working on the script. Trust me. So I just trust him. He did really change something for me. So I really appreciate of that.
And what did you learn, Bingbing, do you think, from working in Hollywood, working with people like Michael Bay, Resident Evil, was Paul Anderson? Was it very different for you to be working in these Hollywood films?
Because we have different culture, we just have different concept for the story and for the understanding of the role and of everything. And the important thing is you have to communicate with your director and your co-star and try to communicate with them more. For example, when I worked with Michael Bay, like I told you, and with John in Meg, he's so nice. I love to work with a director who gets the actors, because he has an ear, have a space to listen to you. He loves to listen to you. He wants to know how you are thinking about the role or the scene. And I'm really happy John used to say something to me. After one scene, he was so moved and he cried. He told me, Bingbing, I am so happy to have you as my actress. I was so moved. That's the best comments for me of a director, I think.
Still ahead, I find out why a trip to Kenya was a life-changing experience for Li Bingbing.
CNBC Sports is heading to the top of the league. They've got 100 points. The first team in top-flight English football history to achieve that.
Is he back in the hearts and minds of America?
People are intrigued. He's back now. He said he's playing Pain 3. I can't wait to get going.
The key ECB interest rates will remain at their present levels, at least through the summer of 2019, and again, optionality. In any case, for as long as necessary.
I think given the sell-off in the market and given the increased uncertainties on trade, that was the most interesting part, because Mario Draghi clearly is also worried about that.
Combination of the fading effect of that euphoria and the global worries and the depreciation of the currency.
We are telling that interest rates will remain at their present levels through the summer of next year, 2019.
2019 is the period before which we think the data will be strong enough.
I think as long as the inflation developments are broadly in line with the forecast, then we express an expectation about some window somewhere in the future.
Kim is your 2017 Players Champion.
Last season, South Korea's Siwoo Kim became the youngest winner of the Players Championship, and only the second Korean-born player to capture the title. Kim is the first Asian player in PGA Tour history to win twice before the age of 22. The victory moved him into the top 30 of the FedEx Cup standings, punching a ticket into the playoffs for the second year in a row.
Welcome Welcome back to CNBC Meets Defining Values. The actress Li Bingbing uses her fame to focus attention on some of the biggest threats facing the planet. You're a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations Environment Programme. How important was that for you when they asked you to become one?
That was 9 years ago. They invited me to be, because at that time I've already done a lot of environmental protection things. So I think they pay attention to me, and then they invited me to be the Goodwill Ambassador for UNEP, and that's what I really want to be. And especially I remembered very clear and very meaningful for me is in 2014. And as the ambassador of UNEP, they invited me to have a speech on the UN Nations of the Climate Summit, and I was really nervous. I don't want to make any mistake, but I know I have a strong will. I need to say something. I need to say something to let them know, to pay more attention for the climate change. So that time I feel so, meaningful and responsible.
I am pleased to be here today because, like many of you, I deeply care about climate change. And I'm keen to see leaders take immediate and ambitious action.
Did you feel that the leaders were not doing enough, that you had to...
Yeah, I have very strong determination to push them, make more action, to do it, just to do it, not just listen and just pass.
And how do you feel now, Bingbing? Do you think enough has been done in terms of climate?
Not enough, I think. Definitely not enough. But I can tell all the country, they just try their best to change. But because it's not one person's things, everyone needs to behave to control their own self to help.
And where do you think that passion for the environment came from within yourself?
In the past 20 years, actually, we've been working for environmental protection for, yes. And 2009, I created my own brand, which is called Love, L-O-V-E, Love. And our motto is just from my parents. They told me, live a responsible life. I think everyone needs to live in this world as a citizen of this world. They have to live a responsible life.
Also, you're the only Chinese global ambassador, goodwill ambassador, for the United Nations Environment Programme. How does that make you feel?
A burden. So much pressure and a lot of responsibility. And I want to do more to show people, to let young people to know how we care about our world, the climate change.
Do you think that there needs to be more awareness in China itself?
It's actually not about the wellness. It's all about the habit, I think. The habit is very important. If 3 days you can make a habit, So if you change your habit, you change your life. You can change the world. So that's, I always talk to people when we're talking about how to protect the environment, how to save the energy.
Bingbing, you visited Kenya.
Yeah.
On a life-changing visit. And tell us about your experience.
You know what? I never been Kenya before. That was in 2013. As the UNEP ambassador, they invited me to Africa, to Kenya. And they told me something that really shocked me. You know what? There were 20,000 elephants killed in Africa each year. That means in 20 years, all the elephants will be extinct. That really shocked me. When I went to Africa, I saw how they harvest the ivory. It was just a massacre. After I saw that, I think it was really broke my heart. I think I need to do something. So when I came back from Kenya, I initiated a Say No to Ivory campaign, because I tried to find some media to help us to promote this information, but not a lot of media pay attention to you. I feel so much pressure. What we can do, in the end, I posted, use my own social media, Weibo. But the result that made me so happy and surprised. It reports 120,000 times. And UNEP told me that Say No to Ivory campaign is the biggest impact for their all project that year.
Because you have 40 million followers on your Weibo, so you were sharing it with a lot of your fans.
I was really happy and glad, we got attention from both the general public and the government. In 2015, China and US joined ivory trade ban. So right now, in China, ivory trade is illegal.
How do you feel now that it's illegal?
I feel so accomplished. I think if you say something, they will hear.
So you've become a role model for many people around the world with the work you do, for the environment, for wildlife. Who do you look up to?
Look up to? There's so many people that I respect. Like I said, my parents always told me to raise me like, study hard, work hard, and try your best to change the world. And when I was 16, I wrote a motto for myself. You might be limited in your ability, but you're unlimited in your persistence.
Do you think that's what's driven you your whole life so far?
That really works for me. Every time when I want to quit or want to give it up, I just tell myself, try harder, persistence, work hard. I actually realized the impact I would have on people. I never thought about that. And as an actress, as a celebrity, you might have power. So now I can do what my parents raised me, change the world.
Bingbing, thank you so much for your time and for meeting me here in Beijing.
Thank you so much, and welcome to Beijing.
CNBC Meets Defining Values, brought to you by UOB Private Bank.
I'd like to donate these books. I no longer have space for them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Where do you get that book?
A man donated it. Dad.
Yes?
I'm sorry, but I need to retrieve one.
I believe you're looking for this.
No, not this one. May I look in there?
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Return the book.